So you're addicted to this book as much as I am? Well, it's a good thing that you and I are together then, because we just have great taste. So you're ready for the exploration part? I knew you would be. You're so cute. I'm so glad you're mine. Let's see. Investigation. After the power outage, George and I conduct a systematic investigation of the entire town, street by street across the grid, seeking any signs of life. I bike slowly, listening. George pads alongside, sniffing the air. We visit homes of friends and acquaintances, businesses and schools. If we find pets, we coax them out, hoping they will scrounge food to survive on their own. At Millerville Middle School, we find an unlocked door behind the gym. Wander the halls, footsteps echo against rows of lockers. I dial my locker combination. Stare at the contents. Everything is just as I left it. Sticky travel mug, bunch of binders, magnets of Frida Kahlo. In Georgia, O'Keeffe. Plaid scarf from last winter. I can hear my math teacher droning on about lockers and how they should be called permutation locks, not combination locks. I wish I was in his class for real, happily bored and surrounded by people I didn't even realize I loved. A few months ago, I would have jumped at the offer of an indefinite vacation. Now I long for the predictable regularity of classes. The comfort of having a daily routine, a place to be, and people to notice when I'm absent. We leave school and ride on through parks, playgrounds, the entire length of creek path. Bubbles float downstream and accumulate in the yellow foam along the shore. George tries to drink, but I stop him. Getting sick with giardia is the last thing we need. I give him what's left from my water bottle. At the end of our search, all we have to show for it are sore paws and sunburned shoulders. I think of Emma and Ashanti. How things would be different now if only they had been able to spend the night without power. The water stops running. I lug bottled water from the basement, wonder about recycling, the empty bottles. Toilets stop refilling and won't flush. I remember once when the water was off at Dad's. He flushed by pouring water directly into the bowl. I don't want to waste drinking water, but I find a case of red wine in the basement. It's the fact that wine smells bad and tastes worse. Even if I liked it, my parents would murder me if I started drinking alcohol the minute I was left alone. She's just not trying the right wine, though I don't condone drinking underage. Wait till you're 21. Sweet wine is where it's at. Pull out a bottle and I'm relieved to find a screw cap, not a cork. Break the seal and pour a third of the bottle into the toilet. Nothing happens. Maybe more volume? More speed? I find a bucket in the laundry room, fill it with wine. I empty the whole bucket into the toilet bowl all at once. The toilet flushes. The sound is like music. Gonna have some puppy snores in the background, but I know you like puppies, so it's okay. Waiting. We eat what fresh food we can. Stuff what's left into garbage bags before spoiled food stinks up the whole house. Throw them in the dumpster. I lower the saddle, drag the bags to the alley and then throw them into the dumpster. I lower the saddle on Mom's bike, use it to pull Trevor's bike trailer to Dad's house. I lit up the camp stove, lantern, more bottles of water, a case of propane cylinders, haul it back to Mom's. After 2 weeks, we finish the food in Mom's pantry. Start on soup and canned vegetables from next door. Use bottled water to boil pasta. oatmeal. The days are long, so I don't light the lantern or candles much. I save resources and time my activities with daylight, but I tell myself my parents are on their way home. No one comes. It's getting more difficult to comfort myself with the belief that my parents will be back any minute. At night, I curl up against George's broad back. I mull scenarios, imagine the reasons why no one has come for me. The best explanation: my parents are in different shelters. They haven't been able to contact each other, so they don't know I've been left behind. It'll just be a matter of time before they reconnect and discover what happened. I imagine the look on my parents' faces when they realize where I am. Mom will demand to talk to whoever's in charge, refusing to take no for an answer. Dad can convince anyone to do anything. It'll only be a matter of time before they'll be here. Maybe even in big military Humvee that will drive right up to the front of the house, honk the horn, and my parents will climb down to embrace me and carry me away to safety. That's the good scenario. The bad scenario involves a transport accident on the highway, far from help or hospitals. My little brother's hurt and crying, Mom bleeding on the side of the road, Paul calling out for help, or Dad and Jennifer mingled with dozens of others in an overturned truck, bodies scattered across the highway like images on the news from faraway wars. I banish those pictures from my mind, but they invade my dreams. I thrash and cry out, wake with tears on my face. George, concerned and whimpering on those long nights, I drag my blanket out to the hammock, watch the stars rove across the sky, rock myself back to troubled sleep. Routine. As summer temperatures rise, we fall into a routine. Spend our time in the cool comfort of the basement family room. At sunset, I bring in solar garden lights I've collected from the neighborhood, place them in twos and threes throughout the house. They illuminate enough to get around. In the morning, I gather them up and return them to the sunny background they recharge all day. We have no shortage of good books. I reread my childhood favorites: E.B. White, Kate DiCamillo, Roald Dahl, Natalie Bebbett, The Calvin and Hobbes Treasury, old friends to smooth the hard edges of being frightened and alone. Sometimes I read to myself. Other times I read aloud to George. He listens politely, wags his tail when I check to see if he's paying attention. When we read late into the evening, we often hear the howls and yips of coyotes at the lake. Hearing them never used to make me nervous, but now everything feels like a threat. More than once we have seen small packs of them running together in the distance. George stiffens and growls, but always stays with me. I don't like to be gone from the house too long, in case a rescue party comes and doesn't find us. We limit our outings to riding around looking for someone left behind. We don't find anyone. Laundry. 21 days since the evacuation, bottled water, supplies running low, only enough for a few more days. I need clean underwear, but I don't want to waste water. I drag the big two-wheeled cooler out of the garage and haul it to the lake, tip it on its side, and fill as much as I can. The water swirls with dirt and muck. A sodden duck feather floats on the surface. I use both hands to drag the cooler home. Wash my clothes in the front yard, lay them in the sun to dry, use the dirty water to flush the toilet. Scavenging. I go to house searching for food, water, and other supplies. Sometimes doors are locked, and some are unlocked. I walk right in. Other times, I find an open window or a dog door big enough to crawl through. Lots of homes have doors in their backyards into garages, and then unlocked doors from the garages into the houses. Must brace for the worst. Many dogs and cats have starved to death and are decomposing inside. I occasionally surprise a pet who's managed to survive by drinking toilet water. But as guilty as I feel, I can't help them. It's hard enough to keep George and me fed. I leave the doors open and try to shoo them through so they can test their luck at survival outside. Mostly, though, rancid fish tanks, bird and rodent cages, carcasses of pets make me gag and want to run. I get in and out as quickly as possible, limit my searches to kitchens and pantries. Now, I'm just gonna say this. If there was an evacuation and we had to take, like, ourselves, I would take my animals. I do not care. I would take them. I would not say no. What about you? Anything at home has to fit one of two categories or it isn't worth my time. 1. Food and drink. Cans of soup, vegetables, fruit, chili boxes of crackers, bottles of water, cranberry juice, ginger ale. 2. Supplies for survival. Soap, propane, matches, candles, boots, sunscreen. I always bring a pad and pencil with me. I always leave a thank you note with my name and address. At one house I find a shoebox full of batteries along with extra flashlights. At another I find a first aid kit with bandages and those ice packs that freeze when squeezed hard enough. At still another I find a hand-cranked emergency radio. No news since the power went out. Only my voice I've heard is my own, talking to George, or my mother's calling my nightmares. I sit on the floor, pull the radio out of the case, hold it in my hands, turn it around, switch it on, but nothing happens. How does it work? Crank the handle several times, broken hisses come from the speaker. Stop again when I stop cranking. I crank and turn the tuner at the same time. At first, just static. After a while, though, words push through the crackle. Turn the dial back and forth. Music. Melody catches in my throat. Makes my eyes sting. Turn again. Voices become discernible. I don't recognize names of places. Have no idea where they are. Sports scores and laughter. Jokes about a baseball game from the night before. How can baseball season continue with so many people displaced? Are the Rockies still playing somewhere? More laughter. Sadness balloons in my chest. Voices marvel at the events of the game. I lean back against the wall and cry. A commercial for Magic Car Wax comes on and Diamond Jewelry guaranteed to win her heart. A woman reports that traffic is jammed downtown due to a broken water main. Commuters should avoid an interchange at Hudson and Parkway. The voices sound so close, but they could be as far as Maine or Florida or Alaska or Mars. I stop cranking. I tuck the radio in my backpack, write the homeowner a thank you note, and head for home. Ghost. I'm hot and sticky. I've spent most of the afternoon scavenging. One more house, then quits for today. I crawl through a large pet door. I'm assessing the contents of the kitchen when my eyes land on a photo of the fridge. The face of my classmate smiles out at me. Heather Way and I had known each other since kindergarten. We were never super close, but we went to birthday parties and played on soccer teams. We were friends. In the summer between 5th and 6th grade, her family was driving in the mountains. A rock slide fell down on the highway, crushing the roof of their car. She died instantly. My whole family went to the funeral. I occasionally saw her brother at school. Now I'm standing in her kitchen, her dead face grinning at me from the front of an appliance. Heather's bedroom is easy to find. It's as though no time has passed, like she might walk into the room at any moment. Bed made, stuffed animals arranged across the pillow, movie posters on the wall, summer reading books stacked on the desk along with a new binder, a ream of notebook paper, a package of mechanical pencils. Either Heather had been excited to start middle school or Mother had been. But the evacuation happened and she's still dead. Her room stays frozen in time, despite the disappearance of everyone she loved. Do ghosts haunt places or people? If she haunts this house, does she know she's been left behind? I am a ghost, haunting this town. Snoop. I ride toward Emma's neighborhood. A golf course meanders around streets called Enclave and Aryan Repos. M's ground floor bedroom has French doors out to a fountain and a trampoline. The doors are unlocked. My eyes adjust to the dim light. Unmade bed, new clothes with tags still on them, strewn across the floor. She left in a hurry. Bottles of nail polish and polish remover on the plush carpet next to a pile of stained cotton balls and a stack of magazines in the bathroom. Cosmetics litter the counter, a hairdryer in one of the sinks. A bottle of Emma's perfume. I remove the glass stopper. My throat cinches shut. The fragrance is so familiar it's disorienting, like Emma is standing next to me. I see myself in her mirror. My face is sunburned and my hair hangs over my shoulders in tangles. I haven't worn makeup or straightened my curls since the evacuation. I'm wearing Mom's t-shirt with the lotus flower and the Om symbol, but it's stretched and faded and smells like lake water. My shorts are filthy and I haven't shaved my legs. My silver Converse have a hole in one toe. Emma would not approve. I lie on her bed, bury my face in her pillow. I can smell her shampoo, sleepovers and slumber parties. Salted toffee popcorn, pink lemonade, cold feet under down comforters. The time Emma dreamed she was standing up in a canoe and fell out of bed in the middle of the night. We got the giggles, couldn't stop laughing. Where is she now? Is she laughing somewhere with someone new? Does she even think about me? Too personal. I go upstairs. The house comforts me, despite the lack of human presence. In Emma's mom's office, a large desk takes up 2 walls, a swivel in her plush leather chair, pile of documents in her glass paperweight. With tiny flowers inside. Folder labeled dissolution/divorce. This can't be right. Emma's family is officially the happiest of all my friends. Emma's dad gives her mom beautiful, expensive presents, whisks her away to remote Caribbean islands and exclusive Swiss chalets. Chalets? Too rich for my blood. They kiss in public, even at school events. The whole family counts their blessings before eating dinner together. Every night, literally, counts them before anyone takes a single bite. I go back downstairs, out in the backyard, lie in the shade under the trampoline. If Emma's parents aren't happily married, I'm not sure a happy marriage is possible. My own parents fought and cried before they finally split up. Emma's never mentioned anything like that. Does Emma know? Has the evacuation changed anything? Made them forget their troubles, or has it made them worse? I want to unread everything, go back to the perfect, happy family. This is too personal, intimate, especially if Emma doesn't know. I want Mom. Nothing makes any kind of sense. I ride. Pressure in my chest starts as a low throne but swells from inside out, emanating from belly upward, pushing against sternum into throat, taking space into my mouth. Sounds burst out up into the air above the road. Shouts, wails, roars. Down below, muscles explode, pedals blur. I ride as fast as I can, straight down the middle of the street toward home. Dream. I'm at Heather's funeral, but my parents are getting married, and I'm shouting at them to stop. And I'm trying to find Jennifer and Paul, and the twins are crying, and I look into the grave, and I see Trevor playing on top of Heather's coffin, and I scream, and nothing comes out, and I wake up in the middle of the night, jaw clenched, fist locked, shaking violently. Paradox. Maybe God sends us nightmares so our living reality doesn't seem so bad when we wake up. Until we wake up and remember we are living in a nightmare we can't escape except by going to sleep. I want to know more. I sit at Paul's desk, open drawers, shuffle through files, bills, tax documents. I find what I'm looking for. Mom's divorce papers. I want to know what really happened. 50% custody, alternating holidays, shared costs of orthodontia, and college tuition. Take turns claiming me as the dependent, whatever that means. Ironic given how independent I've become lately. Paul's files are boring except for a bunch of 10-year-old hospital bills and brochures about in vitro fertilization. Wow, seriously? Never occurred to me that the twins weren't just freaks of nature. I'm glad Paul and Mom had Trevor. As much as I resent sharing my room, it's only just temporarily, honey, till we get into the basement finished. I adore the slobber face. Photographs. A shoebox full of photographs on a closet shelf. Some taken before my parents got married. College, graduate school, one from when they lived in Vegas. I love my mom's jeans and t-shirt. My dad's long curly ponytail. Baby photo of me in a tie-dyed onesie snuggling in a lamp. Pretty darn cute. Mom must have enjoyed dressing me up. Different outfits in every photo. Dad seated at a piano, me standing on the piano bench, leaning on his back, making us both laugh. I pulled that one out, set it aside. School photos, happy holiday faces. Around Christmas trees, can't remember some of those early years together. Just as a family of 3. Now impossible to imagine life without Jennifer and Paul and Trevor and the twins. Heap stories about wicked stepmothers, the phrase broken home pisses me off. At my 6th grade back to school night, the principal told all the families that children from broken homes are 5 times more likely to suffer mental issues than those where the families of origin were intact. Mom got so angry she cried. Afterward, Dad told the principal to do anatomically impossible things to herself on her way to hell. No. To me, what I consider a broken home is when the family sticks together when they shouldn't be together anymore. And they make the rationalization that they should stick together because the kids. But honestly, children growing up in a home where the parents don't love each other and they're unable to hide the fact that they don't love each other, that's worse. It's much better for kids to have parents who are divorced than parents who hate each other and have to live in that toxic environment. Maybe once the evacuation order is lifted, we can write a book about our lives or something. And maybe Emma's family will be okay too after all. Homesick. I take a baby photo of me reading and cuddling in Mom's lap and a photo of Dad and me at the piano out on the porch. Sit and study my parents' faces. Closes my eyes. Picture them safe somewhere, together. Mom and Dad talking intently to high-level military personnel who strategize about how to get back to Millerville to rescue me. Jennifer playing with Trevor while Paul and the twins consult with the top military brass on expediting homecomings for all evacuees. I smile, thinking my family might single-handedly halt the imminent threat and save the day for me and the rest of the country. I wonder who will play us in the movie. It's weird. The imminent threat all the reporters were talking about has yet to materialize. At least that I can see, aside from the power going out, nothing has changed. It's weird not having a device to turn to with every urge to text someone, go somewhere, know something. My body's habits, reaching, clicking, swiping, bending over my screens are breaking. My muscles are confused, but my mind is steady. Days, weeks, months. Weeds choke the yards in all the neighborhoods, and grass grows tall and goes to seed. Dogs and cats roam the streets, foraging for food. The summer crawls by, and the evenings begin to cool off. I talk to the silence. Sometimes I sing. I study my features in the mirror, looking for traces of my family. I don't recognize my face, but I see my father in my hands. Comfort. Sprawled out on my mom's bed in the glow of solar garden lights wedged between the headboard and the wall, I reread her worn-out copy of Mrs. Mike for the gazillionth time. Perfect escape from my reality, possibly the best adventure romance fiction book ever written. Never fails to transport me out of my life and into the vastness of Mrs. Mike's Canadian wilderness. Follow the geese north over Millerville toward Wyoming, over Montana toward Alberta, toward Sergeant Mike Flanagan, Royal Canadian Mounted Police in his red jacket with brass buttons. Sergeant Mike and me, facing unrelenting threats of danger, fighting to survive against all odds. Doesn't matter I'm far from family and luxuries of civilization. Together we can overcome, and together we will, together we do. I close the book, curl up on my side, and sleep the sweet, peaceful sleep of fantasy. Teenager. September 28th. I wake up early. I know it's my birthday because I've been marking the days on Mom's calendar. 126 days since the evacuation. Jennifer and I have planned a big shopping trip for my perfect teenager outfit. I nudge the sleeping dog. George opens one eye, blinks at me, lets out a loud sigh, and closes it again. I don't need his help. I pull out Mom's evening gowns and hold them up, dark blue with rhinestones scattered across one shoulder and down the back. I slip it over my head, slide into my pair of Mom's fancy strappy heels, too high and too pinched. Flip-flops are better. My feet don't show. I shake my hair out of its braids, pin it to the top of my head in a glamorous updo. I dig through Mom's vanity, rhinestone choker, fancy cocktail ring, old-fashioned, sparkly clip-on earrings, put on eyeshadow and blush, line my lips the way Emma taught me. I'm a movie star. I stand in front of the full-length mirror, then strike a Katharine Hepburn pose. George cocks his head. He sees the improvement over my usual post-evacuation faction. No dystopian Michael style today. Today I'm a teenage goddess. Sometimes I act younger than I am, but I don't care. There's nobody here to see. As the only human resident of Millerville, Colorado, I can do whatever I please on my birthday. Visitor. George sniffs around doing his business, and I promenade my finery through the backyard. Dry, brittle tufts of grass catch the tulle underskirt and make it difficult to glide. Mom and Pa would die if they could see the state of the yard, but what can I do without water for sprinklers? Is Mom recognizing the date? Trevor turned 1 already. Are the twins 10 yet? George growls. 10 feet away in the middle of the backyard is a coyote. George barks. The coyote steers back. George rushes it. The coyote hesitates for a split second before bounding over the fence and disappearing into the tall grass. George barks and barks, sniffs all around where the coyote was. I run up on the deck, look in the direction the coyote ran. Can't see any sign of it. George keeps sniffing and barking, pacing back and forth in front of the fence where the coyote jumped. I call to him, tell him what a good dog he is, and hug him. The coyote is thin, and thin means hungry. What would he have done without George here? What will he do next time? I joke about the coyote bringing a birthday gram, a singing coyote gram. I try to laugh, but my hands shake and my knees won't hold me up. I sit on the top step. George stands next to me on high alert. I nuzzle my face into his warm side. Such a good boy. Magical thinking. Upstairs takes off gown. Pull bits of dead grass and pine needles out of him. Hang gown on padded velvet hanger. Return closet. Replace jewelry. Rebraid hair. Pour water on cloth. Wash face. Now bathing consists of heating lake water on the camp stove. Using a soapy washcloth to scrub off what grime I can. Hair is a different disaster. Most of the time I can just keep it up, out of the way. Mom and Dad must realize it's my birthday. They must be thinking of me. They could be thinking of me this very second. What if right now, at this exact moment, we were all thinking of one another at the exact same time? We could trigger some kind of magical energy in the universe. The power of our 3 hearts missing one another at the same time would be enough to break this hellish spell. Make a wish, kneel on the floor, press folded hands to forehead, squeeze eyes shut. Remember world religions from school. Imagine Jesus and Buddha and Muhammad sitting somewhere listening together to people's prayers from around the world. I clasp my hands harder together, concentrate. Please, please, please. Please, 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 let my parents find me. Let my parents come home. Let my parents find me. Let my parents come home. Let my parents find me. Please, 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 please. A warm tongue licks my cheek, eyes open onto George's big black-brown face. He raises one tiny eyebrow, cocks his head. I close my eyes one last time. Please, 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 please. Amen. I think that's a good spot to stop, don't you? Think so. Yeah. Alone by Morgan E. Freeman. Sorry, Megan. I don't know why I said Morgan. It's definitely Megan. It's pretty good, huh? Well, you're just gonna have to come back for more if you want it to be continued. Good, because I like reading with you. Oh, thanks, dear. You are too cute and too sweet. Much, much love, and I hope you have the most wonderful of days. Take care now.